time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Bah humbug. Or perhaps I should say BOA humbug. Yes, Battle of Alberta tonight at Rogers Place. Your Edmonton Oilers taking on the Calgary Flames. Here's how we expect the Oilers to roll themselves out for this one. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Roslovic. Henrique with Mangiapane and Savoy. Frederick back in action, centering the fourth line with Jones and Janmark. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Regula. Stastny with Emberson. And Connor Ingram, the starting goaltender. He will start for the second consecutive game after beating Vegas on Sunday night. Calgary with an optional morning skate, though it looks like they're going to go with Dustin Wolf in net. The Flames slowly moving up in the standings after a horrible start to the season. They are 15, 17, and 4. The Edmonton Oilers are 18, 13, and 6. Pretty good month of December. They have yet to win 3 games in a row. I checked this yesterday. The longest they have ever taken to have a 3-game winning streak. It happened twice in 91-92 and 99-2000. It took them 55 games.
Wow.
They won games 53 through 55. Actually, the one year they won 6 in a row. They went to game 58. So mark that in your day-timers, everybody. Reed Wilkins in for Dustin Nielson at the EST Global HQ. Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction. Hiring now. GS is looking for experienced pipe layers, operators, topmen, and superintendents. Visit gsconstruction.ca. Joining me in studio, the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Good to see you, Reed.
And the other guy from his secret Christmas bunker, where he's wrapping Christmas presents for Santa, Matt Kassian. Hello, Matt.
Hello. Yes, the elves are in the room too.
The elves are scurrying around, helping out. Matt would be he'd be a big elf, kind of like Will Ferrell.
He'd like
in Elf,
the distant relative of Buddy, I believe.
I'm all right with that.
Is everybody done their Christmas shopping?
Nope.
I think so. I haven't done my Christmas wrapping though. I got to wrap stuff. Like it's all hidden. It's all hidden. Like I have stuff hidden. My wife's gifts are hidden because she's a snooper for presents. Like she will, she tells me she loves being surprised, and then she's like she will snoop to find where the presents are. So it's like I have to be creative because I know she'll look. Like I can't put them in the regular spots. If I've used it once already, like she will just happen to have to find something. Oh, I just needed to find something in there.
Yeah.
No, she's looking for presents.
He's like, gotta go over to the neighbors. Like, hey, I got to put something under your bed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know what? So I don't know if you guys have had this experience though. So modern advertising and phones have ruined Christmas shopping. I don't know if you guys have had that experience. So, and what's funny is it happened to both of us. It happened once for my wife this year and then once for me this year where, like, you know how you get like the personalized advertisements based on things you've been looking, like they're just tracking everything you do, listening to everything you do. It's like where she had one of the presents that I was looking at for her. All of a sudden she was looking on whatever website she's looking at, because she's a girl. She looks at all kinds of different stuff, but all of a sudden it's like those little bar advertisements were for her present. And she was just like, because she hadn't been looking at it, but she's like, oh, Matt must have been looking at all this. So that completely ruined that one. And then I was upset with her before I realized that it's just everything is being listened to. And then it happened like it was like a day or two later. I was looking at through like Christmas presents. We draw names as a family, so I was looking through presents for my mom for Christmas, and all of a sudden it came up. One of the things that I had on my list all of a sudden was in the little search things, and I was like, oh, I guess someone else must have been looking at that. So it was funny. But have you guys ever had like a Christmas present that was supposed to be a surprise get ruined? Like have the surprise ruined, either intentionally or unintentionally?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Well, I kind of ruined one myself the other day. But I'm trying to think. I think because the package came and I knew what it was, and I got it for Christmas. But I knew exactly what it was because I had essentially ordered myself the exact same thing, and it came the exact same place through Amazon and stuff. So, my wife got me another one of the same things, so which was great. I didn't mind, but I I knew what it was. So
Yeah. Like Christmas, I've found Christmas has changed as I've become a more seasoned individual.
yeah.
And obviously, I don't have kids, so I don't have to buy a ton of gifts. I live alone. I don't have to worry about hiding stuff. My parents are at a point in their lives where they're like, we do not want clutter. Like we don't want something. Like my dad, like he's handy. He likes working outside in the summer, like doing stuff in the garden. I was like, do you need any tools at all? He's like, no. So I'm not going to get him. So like, oh, hey, here's another blade for your saw. Like he's fine. So mine's a little different. Maybe like Cass, I don't have to hide a bunch of stuff. Or if I ask one of my parents, like, are you interested in this? And they say yes, I will go get it. So I guess maybe that kind of ruins the surprise. But I know they'll also be getting something that they want. I mean, there's cousins. I might buy little things for, like one of my cousins, like she's in her early 30s, and we were messaging the other day, and I was like, look, I just got you some beer. I went to Sherbrooke and I got you some craft beer, and she didn't feel ruined. Like she doesn't know exactly what it is. So, but it's still fun. It's still fun to give and know maybe you're giving something that somebody will like and appreciate, as opposed to like, I went into a random store and bought you this, and you might want to throw it out as soon as I'm not around you.
Yeah, it's finding. I rarely find the item that a person will go, wow, that is a great idea. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I needed that. Right? It's what do you do for the person that has everything, right? And it becomes quite challenging to get something that that they'll enjoy for a certain amount of time. That's why beer usually works quite well, because it's well liked, and they're going to every time they crack one, they're going to think about you, and probably enjoy it a little bit more by if they're watching a hockey game or one of their favorite shows, and they go, this is a nice beer from Matt that now I'm drinking too much of, and I'm going to fall asleep on the couch. And I'm not going to even be able to finish my movie.
That's okay. You know what I've shifted to a little bit though with some of it, and even with the kids too, is experience over gift in some ways.
Big time, yeah.
Because I feel like that, and even with for we call like my mom and dad are Omi and Opie to our kids. So for Omi and Opie, like for birthdays, we've kind of been like, hey, like don't get them stuff, like get them an experience, like, because I have 3 girls. It's like each of them, it's funny because they did it for the oldest, and then each of the other 2 younger ones, like this is all they wanted from Omi and Opie was a date with Omi where they could go get their nails done and go shopping together for like a little $20 something, but like more about the experience. And they'll still talk about it, like, getting to go out for breakfast and then go get their nails done with Omi. Like so that's kind of where it's shifted to. And those can be a little bit more surprising in some ways too, because it's not, you're not having to find that perfect gift. You're like, oh, it's just something fun that we could do together, which is those are kind of fun. I'm beginning to move that way, because I'm like, it's almost more important to me. It's like not the stuff, but being able to spend time with people. Look at me getting old and mature. Spending time with people is like is a bigger priority.
But that's the great thing though, like like ever since I was a kid, like going out to eat with my mom and dad, whether it was old Caesar's Steakhouse in Drayton Valley or going for sushi now. And the thing is, you give a restaurant gift card for Christmas. Well, maybe you go out in May or June. Yeah. And then it's still like, oh, hey, this is, as opposed to like, here's a bunch of stuff you get on Christmas Day, and it's just blurry stuff. You enjoy it. You enjoy it down the road. We enjoy talking to you. It's 12:11. There is an Oilers game tonight. It's at 7. Of course, we have you covered throughout the afternoon. After this show, it's EST Afternoons with Turner and Gager. My show is 3 to 6. Justin Lawrence, Montreal Alouettes center, is going to guest co-host with me today because Jay Milne is off. So that'll be fun to have Justin, a local guy. Played for U of A, obviously 3-time Grey Cup champ, just missed out on 4 against the Riders. Cool. So that'll be fun this afternoon. 6 o'clock, don't forget the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with this younger gentleman named Tom Gazzola. Oh, him. He's going to host it, and then he'll be on. Are you on tonight, Cass? Who's on tonight?
No, not tonight. No.
Is it you?
Yeah, or Tommy hasn't asked either of us yet, so we'll usually
he's going to pull a Colleen's name out of a hat.
Wait a sec, let me see. No, nothing yet.
Anyway, Must be Belsey. Belsey's going to be on my show this afternoon too. So we got you ready for the Oilers and the Flames. Let's talk about some storylines there, guys. I went through the lineup. Well, let's start with the goaltender first before we once again dive into the Trent Frederick stuff. Connor Ingram's going to start in goal.
Okay.
Here's his NHL stats. He's 1-0 with a 3.00 goals against average and a .903 save percentage. Can't argue with that so far. After the game, and yesterday, they didn't practice yesterday, so I was thinking he'll probably go Pickard, but part of my brain was like, does he just say, "Hey, Ingram, like you earned it, like you've been through all this. Yes, your numbers in the minors weren't great, but you persevered. You came up. He did not. In my mind, he did not let in a cringeworthy goal by any means against Vegas. I thought he made some really important stops when it was 4-3 to preserve the win. So here we go. It's Ingram again in net for the Oilers.
I was surprised, but then the I don't know which part of the brain operates the conspiracy theory side, but that was activated, and I thought the first thing that I thought of was Tristan Jarry's injury is more along the lines of what I'm thinking it is than 2 weeks that they're saying. I'm thinking let's get both these guys kind of going. For Ingram, he's played one game. Let's get him another game. Then we have the break, and then we'll get into maybe looking at the schedule, whoever's going. Maybe it's a win and you're in type of scenario, but I think it's trying to get Ingram back up to speed to NHL level of play. That kind of tells me that these guys are going to be around for a while, and he's going to try to get both of them up and running. Because Tristan Jarry's, I think his groin is torn. I think he's 6 to 8.
You think it's a longer term?
I think so.
Which has happened a lot with Oilers injuries. It's 2 days, and we'll see you in 2028. But I know what you're saying.
I mean, I haven't been on since the Jarry injury. But wasn't it talked about how he is injury prone when that trade happened? Like, as being one of the major concerns.
What is the story of the injuries, though, with him? Do you know, Cass?
He just keeps getting hurt, and it's always lower body.
Has it been over the past few years? Mostly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was hurt a bit earlier this year. Where are we here? I'm not going to be able to find everything probably, but 2023
he was hurt for like 4 or 5 weeks. Let me hear, and then 2024 he was in the minors. Conditioning stint because I believe he was injured at the start of the year. Throughout the year, missed most of the playoffs. I think. Trying to get it full. You might pull it up. This one doesn't have all the full for what it is. I'm trying to see if you can get something more specific.
What else do we have here? Early November, lower body. Last year. November, he had an undisclosed going back to January 23, upper body. Earlier in 23, lower body.
Okay.
Foot injury in April of 22.
That was the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
He was going quite well.
That was
not
broken,
much
I think.
before 2021. So,
Okay, so not
the first
horrible,
half of his career healthier. The second half, I mean, nothing that's like kept him out 6 months, but just more kind of stuff to deal with.
So he's like a Ford.
He tweaks stuff.
Yeah. All right. So it's not as bad maybe as I thought in my head, but like, I'm on the same side as Gager. Yeah. I don't think it's conspiracy. But I think they're prepping for the type of injury where it's like, well, maybe you hope best case scenario, he's 2 weeks, but if it is like a groin, goalies, you can't rush that back. And you can retweak. I mean, it's a lot easier to retweak a groin as a goalie as it is a player. I mean, it's one of the muscles you use the most, or that gets stretched out the most, and that you have to rely on the most. Like as a player, you can kind of, if you get taped up and basically create a sling, which sometimes they'll do, is like you can wear harnesses and things that are going to kind of keep everything sucked in, and you can get through it to a certain extent. a lot more difficult as a goalie. I mean, like you have to be able to utilize that. So I'm with you, Gage. I think they're thinking this could take longer potentially. Best case, maybe it's 2 weeks. Worst case, you're looking at a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and you want to have Ingram in. And I think even beyond that, you're thinking too, like, if Ingram can give you the NHL level of play, you just have further options. If somebody does get hurt or if Pickard doesn't play well, like you got options there. So they want to see him. They want to see him play enough. So it's an interesting situation. So here's my question for you, Gager. What are you thinking if you're Calvin Pickard right now, like today, with Ingram getting another start and a start against the Flames? Like, what's going through your head?
The first thing is I'm battling for my job, my position right now, right? With another guy. Just he's getting the next start. We're both considered, you have to look at the big picture. We're both considered number two. Everything up to this point doesn't really matter, I would say, because you have both guys whose numbers aren't spectacular by any means. It's almost like training camp all over again for these guys. So that's probably what goes through his mind. Now the total preparation for games obviously changes, and you do the old cliches and one save at a time, those types of things. But no, I think this is, you make a great point. They're probably seeing this the same way. You have a goaltender that's been injured over the last few years. The Oilers are by the looks of it. I mean, it is one game, but we're diving pretty deep into this. We're looking at this like we might need both these guys, right? If our current pickup is injured all the time. So, but I think once Jari is better, now this is the audition process for Pickard and Ingram to see who stays.
Appreciate the text coming in. 780-218-9999 if you want to text us, by the way. Give yourself a handle. This person has not done so, but they said 43 games Jari's missed for injury. So yeah, not a lot, but I was giving the sequence there. Mm-hmm. There have been things that have popped up in the last 4 or 5 years where he might miss.
But it did happen
a couple weeks, whatever.
Like Pickard or Skinner was injured down the stretch, right?
Right.
And he there was a time when I don't know who came up in playoffs as well and they weren't too. They didn't feel secure with their third pick. Who was it? The guy that
I think it was Rodrigue.
Rodrigue came up, and they just
was it Rodrigue? I think it was.
I think so. And so they were like, we're one guy running driving the net to seeing Rodrigue in net.
Right.
So they would probably rather having Ingram or Pickard in that type of situation if one of the other two get injured.
So opportunity for Ingram tonight, taking on the Calgary Flames. Home and home here before and after Christmas. I kind of like how this schedule. And usually not usually. I think it's a rule, that first game after Christmas, because they're not allowed to practice on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
I think probably on Saturday, the morning skate will be in Edmonton. And then they'll go to Calgary. I think that's happened in the past. There's a rule about how far a team can fly the first day back. So if you look at the games on the 27th, well, the Northeast is a little different, but they'll probably all be sort of regional games. So tonight's game is at 7. These teams played, feels like a long time ago. You may remember Edmonton was up 3-0. It was 3-2. Skinner didn't clear the puck to the corner. Yeah. Was it Coleman that tapped it in?
Yeah.
And then it went to a shootout and Calgary won it. So Calgary season did not start well. I had Logan Gordon on from Sportsnet 960 yesterday, and he said, that they're trying to come to life here, though there's still a lot of their fan base that are like, can we just finish last and maybe get McKenna or Veerhoff or somebody else like that. Okay, Frederick is going to play tonight. He's back in. Curtis Lazar is going to come out. Mm-hmm. I got to hand it to Curtis. I mean, I've always liked him going back to Oil Kings. I think he's played his role well, but I understand why he might be the odd man out tonight. So Frederick, Jones, and Janmark will be the line. First of all, good for Jones to take advantage of this opportunity. You guys probably heard me ask the question after the game on Sunday about Max Jones. Rashog then asked, how how do you hope Frederic responds to this? Frederic spoke this morning, talking about moving his feet, trying to get involved early in the game, and Knobloch gave the usual clip. He's kind of got to simplify and just not feel weighed down out there. Cass, we'll start with you. I didn't know for sure if Frederic would be back in today, or if they'd give him another sort of let's sit out and come back in after Christmas. Your thoughts on him being back in, and can he simplify and start contributing a little more?
Can he? Well, I mean, he has to be able to, doesn't he? He has to be able to. Will he is the question. Can he? Yes. Will he? I don't know. Like, he's like a lost puppy out there. Right. And not an angry lost puppy. He's just like a sad lost puppy where it's like he can't seem to figure out how he fits, can't seem to figure out how he's going to play. Like, and I wonder if so much of this harkens back to the start of the season and him thinking he was going to play with McDavid and Draisaitl and just being like, oh, I got to be able to play, as opposed to just sticking with his guns and what worked for him. And then he just mentally wasn't able to recover. I don't know if one game was enough. I mean, it does for a guy that's on an 8-year contract. That's still like in a contract value. Getting healthy scratched even once isn't nothing. Like, that still sends a pretty strong message for a guy that's on a long-term deal to say, hey, you're going to sit this one out because you haven't given us enough. So maybe we shouldn't be surprised. I did think he was going to get one more and kind of give him the whole Christmas break. But maybe they just want to see how he responds today, which will be interesting. What type of Trent Frederic are we going to get? Like, are we going to get some kind of aggression? Are we going to get some kind of physicality? Now, it's difficult, or it can be, in limited minutes to be able to play with high up-tempo energy. But he's a guy that's been in that role before in the league. Like, this isn't a guy where it's like he was a high-skill guy, top six his whole career, and now you're asking him all of a sudden to play a defensive, physical, heavy game. It's like, no, this is a guy whose bread and butter was that game. That's how he got into the league, was this game. So but I don't know. I mean, like, how many games would you guys say you've seen Trent Frederic play in an Oilers uniform where you're like, man, he played really well tonight?
0. Honestly, Cass, 0.
0.
Yep.
So will one game in the press box be the magic switch? I don't know, because to me, it feels more like a problem you're going to have to work your way out over time. Like, it's not just like an instant fix. It's like, no, he's got to grind this out somehow. So we'll see. I am a little surprised he wasn't given the whole Christmas break to sit and to say, hey man, you need to sort this thing out. But maybe they're hoping just the one game out of the lineup is enough to spark him. I don't know if it is. I hope it is, for his sake and for the team's sake. That'd be great if it was. I just don't know if it is.
We had, I believe it was Sean Hutchinson from Boston talking to him before the Boston game. And we asked him about Trent Frederic, and he was surprised, as he said, anyone that the deal, the 8 years for Trent Frederic. He thought that took him by surprise, and he said this is Trent Frederic from his time in Boston. There would be times, like 4 or 5 games, where he would look really good and start scoring and doing some things, and then there would be the lull, right? But the only thing is we haven't seen the streakiness yet. It's just been a lull up till Christmas with this player so far. I don't. Is he one of those guys? Let me ask you guys this: is he one of those guys where all of a sudden he starts playing well, the puck goes in the net, and everyone goes, oh my gosh, here we go. He's found his game, and this is what we're going to see game in, game out for the rest. But that's not him. He can raise his level of game for a small period of time, a little chunk, but for the most part, this is who Trent Frederic is.
Well, and that's obviously not going to make anybody feel good with 7.5 years left on the contract. Knobloch obviously has won a ton of games. He's made a lot of decisions where I've scratched my head, and then it's turned out well. I mean, I often say, you go back to the first playoff run, scratching guys like McLeod and Fogle, and I think even CC might have missed a game in the Stanley Cup final, and they usually came back stronger. I still, and I know maybe the options were limited, and maybe I'm making too much of one game, or it turned out to be half a game or 1.5 games, whatever it was. I still wonder if starting the season with a line of McDavid, Draisaitl, and Frederic was the worst thing that could have happened to Trent Frederic. Because you're kind of saying, well, Hyman's out for a while. Freddie, go in there and do that. Mm-hmm. Even if they didn't tell him that, like they probably said, be yourself. But you would think somewhere in his mind, he's like, well, wow, I get to do what Zach Hyman does. And he couldn't do it. And, he's on that line, and then his ice time keeps getting reduced. And, I mean, the lost puppy comparison, I think, is a fair one, Cass. And I mean, and you compare this to Jones. Somebody brought up Clattenburg in the chat. Similar ice time, but noticeable.
Yeah.
I mean, Clattenburg hits, fights, scores, I think, in his second game. Knobloch brought up after the last game how him just making a simple play, getting the puck off the boards, shooting, leads to Quinn Hudson's first NHL goal the other night. I mean, and then even last game, I believe Jones was at 7:56, so we'll round it up to 8 minutes for argument's sake. I said to Tommy after the game, I was like, I felt he maybe played 10, 11, 12, just because at least there was some muckiness and presence to him. Yeah.
Well, Cass, you would be able to answer this better than anyone. If a player who isn't normally considered a top 6 guy all of a sudden gets thrust on to play with your most productive offensive players, how is his mindset? Where is he at? Is all of a sudden, I have to start creating stuff? Like, you would think that you would probably go, I gotta score here. Yeah.
Well, that's the danger. That's the danger for those players, where they get put into that and then they lose their game. And they lose their game because it's all of a sudden, I have to change things. When sometimes it's like, well, no, the whole reason you're put there is because of the way you're playing.
Right.
You gotta stick with your guns, right? Like, stick with what makes you successful. And yes, to a certain extent. Now let's use another guy as an example. Like there's a Matt Savoy type of player where it's like, hey, he's got to be able to adapt. And yes, he can be a little more creative when he's playing with Draisaitl and McDavid than he can right now playing with Adam Henrique on the third line or the fourth line, right? Like there's, you have to have some flex, but he's a guy that plays that game at that very creative level all the time. If he, like he's got the capacity to do it, which is different. A player like him moving up is different than a guy that's a hustle and grind type of player getting moved up. That's like, well, now all of a sudden I got to go and make plays. Think of like a Pat Maroon. Pat Maroon playing with Connor McDavid, how did he play and score as many goals as he did? He played the same way. Like he didn't, you put Pat Maroon on the fourth line, he was still just going to go to the net with his stick on the ice. He was still just going to try to be physical. Like he didn't try to adapt his game. He just went with what generally made him successful and a good hockey player to begin with. And it can be a danger to a player that's, again, not a, relatively not a skilled player. Like Trent Frederic, he showed up for as poorly as he's played from an NHL level. He shows up at any shitty game here. He's owning all of you guys and making us all look stupid from a skill standpoint, not just energy and fitness level, but just he's incredibly skilled compared to the average human. But from an NHL standpoint, when he tries to play that overly skilled game and it seeps into the decision making, well, all of a sudden you lose yourself a little bit as a player, or potentially lose yourself as a player. And I think that's kind of what happened. And then he just hasn't been able to refine that again. It's like you guys remember the movie Hook with Robin Williams? Great movie, great kids movie, right? Like, banger. Like, there you are, Peter. Like, it's like Peter Pan forgot how to fly, right? Like he forgot how to crow. He forgot how to do all the Peter Pan things. And he grew up. And I kind of feel like that's, the call on Frederic was, hey, you're going to have to step up and play with these guys here, maybe for an extended period of time, with Hyman being out for a while. And it's like, in that, he forgot what made him successful. Now, we've seen tiny little moments of it. like the fight against Columbus, which wasn't a great fight for him. Now he wins that fight. Maybe it's different, but he loses that fight because I don't think he executed very well in that. But it's like that almost maybe further even, from a mental standpoint was just like, well, now I lose the fight. And it's like, I can't even fight. And in such a telling, and it was from a while ago, but a telling quote to me from, might even be like 2 months ago almost now, we was like, hey, no one wants to fight somebody that's got like 1 goal or 2 goals when he got asked about like getting into scraps. Yeah. And it's like, well, the response should have been that. The response should have been, well, you know what? You have to find a way to be an impact in the game. That's how he should have responded. We shouldn't have said, well, no one wants to find someone that's got 2 goals. Should have been like, well, you know what? It's on me to try to generate and create and be a presence out there to force the issue, which it should have been. But his mentality was, well, like, I don't have enough goals to even get in a fight. Yeah. Like that's the mentality is, I only have 2 goals. Like no one's going to fight me. So why would I even fight or try? Because no one's going to want to fight me. I got 2 goals. Instead of being like, well, no, I'm just, who cares if I have 2 goals? I'm going to force the issue. Yeah. Right. Like it's a different mentality. And that's where, again, with the lost puppy, it's like, he's a player that has the capacity to be a pit bull, but he just forgot how to have that bite. Right. Like he got too used to the comforts of being on the top line or the thought or the idea of being on the top line. So it's a tough position for him. Now, again, I think they're hoping that with sitting him out 1 game, that was like the biggest wake up, right? To like, this is unacceptable to the point of you not being in the lineup and us having better alternatives to put in here. And you hope that sparks something. I hope they're just pulling up. I'm hoping they're pulling up shifts from his time in Boston that were good ones, or even just from his time in Edmonton, and they're showing it to him and being like, this is you, speaking into it and being from an encouragement standpoint, being like, look what you did here in this, like, this is you, this is good. This is what we need. Like you have the capacity and capability of doing it because he does. But it's just trying to get that out of him. And it's a scary place to be, I think, as a, hustle and grind type player is not having that identity, right? Because it's like, even if your hands aren't there, if the skill's not there, you can run around and hit people. You can always fall back to that, right? Like you could always be like, no, the hands aren't there. Maybe the mind's not there. I'm not making plays like I'd like to, but I can still go try to hit people. I can still try to have an impact here. And if you lose the confidence in that, that's a tough place to be.
A little bit more Winter Soldier, right? I know he's Bucky right now and all nice, but you need to read him the 10 phrases from that little red book. There he switches, right? That's great. And just and all of a sudden he's just amazing.
Maybe you got to do it in Boston. I don't know what the Boston words may be.
Yeah. The car.
Get us some St. Louis barbecue because it's his hometown or something. Yeah. 2 guys at a goalie: Joaquin Gage, Matt Kassian, and Reed Wilkins. I'm in for Dustin Nielson today. We're with you until 1 o'clock. Then it's going to be EST afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin. All right. I'm going to do something here for Hired or Fired for GS Construction. For over 50 years, GS Construction has been proud to serve our communities and work alongside people. Every member of their team has their own story, but they all share one thing in common: a passion for the work we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca today. My Christmas gift to the audience. I'm going to talk about a rumor. Oh. And you guys know I'm not a huge, of course but I don't like doing whole shows on rumors because then I feel like, well, I did 3 hours and none of that's ever going to happen. But there's some Marc-Andre Fleury stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Out there.
All right.
He might want to play again. Maybe the Oilers are talking to him. Hire it or fire it. You'd take a swing on Marc-Andre Fleury if you were Oilers management, if he wanted to come back and play for you.
Fire it. Flowers don't do well when planted in the winter.
That's great.
Yeah, fire it. Like what? Why? No. Why? No, fire it. Fire it. No.
I'd hire it.
Okay.
Well,
Reason.
Well, maybe he's got one more in him.
Well, okay.
Maybe.
And if it's true what you're thinking, then maybe Jari's out 2 months instead of 2 weeks. Is it any more of a risk than running with Connor Ingram for half your games for 2 months?
No. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if he was, he'd have to play for next to nothing.
Oh, it'd be league minimum, right?
Like that's
prorated.
That's the thing. Yeah, 0 prorated. But yeah, I know what you're saying. So, cheekiness in the nasty chat. Well, that's quite the handle. I think I'm reading that right. It says, I would hire Flower in a heartbeat. Defskra says, why not Ryan Miller as well?
Jeez. Well, we're at it. Maybe get Mike Smith back in here too.
Maybe Patrick Waugh could play for one team and coach another.
A lot of travel, but
Well, didn't Dubnyk go up and down that 1 year? That's an interesting one. I mean, if he's putting it out there that he wants to come back, certainly teams will entertain it. I would think the Oilers are probably going to go through a stretch again, and that's again. Let's play Ingram again tonight.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see how you do it. And here's the thing, and I want to talk about this for Hired or Fired as well, because you guys played in the NHL and played in other leagues and were in the minors. And Ingram got asked about this. I know it gets brought up. That whole in some ways it's easier. Like the NHL is not an easier league demand wise, but the puck goes where it's supposed to go. And Ingram said, it's the play that you think is going to be made is usually the play that's going to be made. Is there something to that? There is, in that respect, it's easier to play in the National Hockey League.
I would say there is, there is some truth to it where the guys are so good and usually positionally they're always there. When on certain breakouts, your guy's going to be there.
Right.
The pass, you go to a place is going to be on your tape. Right. There's things like that happen. When people say the American League, it's scrambly and it's chaos. Let me just clarify one thing. It's not men's league, okay? If a men's league guy couldn't just go in and play in the American League, okay, that you would get.
It's relative. It's relative.
Very relative, right? It's still a very controlled game, but I would. You know what? I think the best way to look at it is the NCAA basketball, women's, whatever, NCAA basketball to the pros, where you watch the NBA, they don't miss, right? You watch NCAA basketball, they miss way more.
Right.
And that's, I would kind of look at it that way. Still really good, still a lot of good players, but just not the elite of the elite.
Right.
Was there a hire or fire it tied to this? I can't remember.
Yeah, you can hire it or fire it. And then we're going to do the Christmas thing. Yeah.
I completely agree with him on this. I think for me, I found it easier to play at the NHL level than the AHL level. With the reason being, I was a slow player. That was my huge issue. I was not fast, but I was a cerebral player in that I thought the game well, anticipated the game well, understood the game well. And I found it easier because in the NHL, people are where they're supposed to be way more often. There's less mistakes, particularly with the defenseman. I think that's where it's more noticeable. Is the defensemen make less mistakes in the NHL. Very, very few of them. Positionally, they're better. The first passes are quicker, cleaner. And so it was always easier because it's if I pressure here, this is what this player should do. Now, if that's what that player should do, he's probably going to do that. Now, if he's doing that, that means their winger most likely is going to go here because that's where he should be going, which means our other forechecker should go here because that's where he's supposed to be going. And it's just things start to line up and to make sense. And so from a goaltending standpoint, it's the same thing. It's if his defensemen do what you anticipate they're going to do, well, then that means the puck is going here or there because that's where it should go. And so it becomes easier to anticipate. You don't have players just necessarily going out and doing crazy things. Now, you have on the flip side, you have the Connor McDavids of the world that bring a whole new wild card variable to it, right? When you have that top high end elite skill that you don't necessarily have in the AHL, that changes it too in a slightly different way. But I completely agree with it. I think for some players, it's easier to play in the NHL than the AHL. And I was one of those because I thought the game well. Now, for players that are just kind of run and gun that don't necessarily process the game at as high a speed, will the AHL may end up being easier. Right. And for some offensive players, the AHL may end up being easier because there are more mistakes and more things for them to capitalize on. But I totally actually agree with the statement completely.
Well, hopefully Connor Ingram is reading the play well tonight. Oilers Flames at 7 o'clock. Ingram going to play goal. Dustin Wolf expected to be in for the Calgary Flames, who have slowly. Well, it's funny for them. Like they have moved up in the standings, but they're only 2 points ahead of last place.
Yeah.
It's kind of congested. They'll be interesting to watch. I mean, they're 6-3-1 in their last 10. Speaking of goaltending, Devin Cooley, who had the great comments 3 or 4 weeks ago, has helped them with a .914 save percentage. While the Oilers here will try to win their second in a row. Okay, we're gonna do something else here. So I'm sitting there this morning. I'm like, what can we do that's Christmassy on the show today? And I struggle with anything that brings joy. So we're gonna do, and I'll go first with the one angle because I kind of sprung this on you guys today. We're going to do one Grinch move towards the NHL. So taking something away from the National Hockey League or being Grinchy with something, and one Santa, one gift for the National Hockey League and or its fans. Okay? So I'll go first. I'll do my Santa angle, and I'm going to be very giving, and let's finally do this. And let's go to the 3-2-1 0-point system. Let's make a regulation win worth more than an overtime or a shootout win. Actually make it worth 3 points. 2 points if you win an overtime or a shootout. Still 1 point for an overtime or shootout loss. 0 points for a regulation win. Actually have the value of the points make sense. And beating a team in regulation time should be worth more than playing them to a tie and then winning a different form of hockey after that. To everybody who says, well, Reed, but how are you going to calculate winning percentage and points percentage? And now the records will be different and 500 will be different. I say, I don't care. I used to think that way when I was 12. I don't care anymore. All you remember from a certain season is who won the Stanley Cup anyway, not how many, rarely how many points they had. I'm just going to say, make it make more sense. Figure out how the standings are going to look in the newspaper. For the columns, the newspaper, or online. So I would give, Santa would give that third point to a team that can win in regulation time. Ho, ho, ho.
I love it, Reed. I think it should be done. I think you'll get down to the end of the year and then see games mean more down the stretch, right? At certain points and different coaching strategies throughout it too. You might be tied. And a team's pulling the goalie all of a sudden. Yeah. Right? Like,
I'm here for it. Yeah, I'm here for it. And it's like you changed from ties to, right? Because we used to have ties. I don't know if people remember that around. It's like you had ties and each team got a point for a tie. So, it changes when you look at winning percentage standpoint between two teams. Yeah, it's going to change that a little bit. But is that really the metric at the end of the day that makes you make the playoffs or not? No, at the end of the day, you're looking at points. And yes, the winning percentage helps you keep track of teams that have played a different number of games. But let's be real. You can figure that out. You can look at it and say, oh, well, Edmonton has played 5 more games than Las Vegas. So, they're going to have more points. Generally communicates to me that a team's either in it or not in it or where they are. So I'm here for it because I think it does open up those avenues of making the end of games more exciting. Instead of playing for a tie, teams could be playing for a win. It doesn't change the overall, where teams finish dramatically. It doesn't absolutely crush it, but it could change it enough. So I'm here for it. I think that'd be a great gift. I don't think it will be a gift. I think that's one of the ones where you write it down your Christmas list and you're like, I know I'm never going to get this, but I'm going to put it on there anyways, just in case. Kind of feels like one of those ones.
I'll go to the mall and ask Santa. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll do a mall Santa thing.
Yeah. I got a gift I'd like to see.
Oh, yeah.
We'll stay with the gifts first.
Yeah.
So I got a gift that I'd like to see. I want to see the ability for teams to eat the salary in trades come back. That would be a gift to me. I want to see the ability for teams to be able to eat. So that we'll call it the third party eating of salary cap. I want to see that come back.
The money laundering. That's what I always
The money laundering. Yes. The money laundering. Because I think that makes it so much more interesting around trade time. right? Because teams, you still ultimately have to figure out how to fit underneath the cap, and teams have to be able to take that cap space on. And so I'm just like, I don't care if it's having to split between multiple teams. And I don't care if it's, this guy's contract has been traded X amount of times. Like, give me the ability to have fun trades where teams can actually make moves to make things interesting from a trade standpoint and from a down the stretch standpoint. Like, I want to see that. That would be a gift to me, because I like seeing trades. I like seeing teams being able to make those moves. I want to see more of it. I don't want to see it completely hampered. I know that's not necessarily the NHLPA's feelings on the matter, but give me that back. I would like that back. It's not probably coming back, but I want it back.
I like it. I mean, not that there's a lot of bottom feeder teams, but if you're on the outside looking in at the trade deadline and you have a ton of cap space where you can bolster with picks or maybe some prospects just for some salary going back the other way, I'm all for it. Makes your team better.
Do you have something, Gager? Or you want?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my brethren, my goalies, a gift to the goalies, so to speak. And I think it helps both, but I'm getting rid of the trapezoid. Enough's enough. We're done. I think goalies, I hate to say this, have gotten a little soft over the last few years.
Last few years, last 2 decades, Gage.
It's my time. I reclaim my time. I think that, they get brushed in the blue paint and it's no goal. It's like you got to battle a little bit, but I think goalies should be able to go play the puck in the corner and make plays. Now, saying this too, I'm not saying they're free game, but players should have the ability to battle for the puck with goaltenders. There should be some sort of checking involved, right? You can't go and blow a guy up. There has to be a definite trying to, the puck has to be the main point of focus. But I think it's taken away some of the skill level from other types of goalies that become that almost third defenseman, where now you really have to start looking at proper dumps, where to put it, and it gives defenseman an outlet to get to a place where when the goalie can move the puck with proficiency, it's a benefit to your team.
That's a good one. Yeah. Would have been, imagine Mike Smith here getting the puck up the ice. He was good enough to where they was.
It would be funny because he would probably have skated more than most players because he's out there all the time.
That's a good point. All right, Grinch time. What is something you would take away from the National Hockey League and or its fans? You know what Grinch Wilkins is going to take away? He's going to take away games.
Oh, okay.
That's right, baby. We don't need all these games. They're going to 84 next year. Give me a break. Sorry, everybody. Less hockey, but I think less would be more in the end. With so many teams, and I still think you should play everybody twice, once home and once away. So, say for the Oilers, you'd play teams in the other 3 divisions just twice each. None of this 3 times against the Central. Who cares? So 2 times 24. I believe that's 48. So then the other 7 teams in the Oilers division, you'd play thrice each for 21, but you'd get one either rivalry opponent or an opponent based on the previous year's standings that you'd play 4 times. So 22 games within the division. That gets you to 70. I think that's a good number. If you could still have the season take the same amount of time on the calendar, but maybe there are a few more days between games, or you could weekend focus some of the games, or all the American teams like, we don't want to play Sundays because of the NFL. Well, okay, you can play around more with the schedule there. Maybe players are a little bit fresher and even better in the postseason, and maybe a little less banged up as the season goes on. So I would Grinch. Now I'm not taking away 12. I'm taking away 14 games as of next year, and Grinching it down to 70.
I'm with it. I think they should. It would be it would eliminate a lot of the chances for injuries, and it's too much. So,
thank you, Gager.
You're welcome, Reed.
What does Grinch Cass have?
I like taking away exhibition games.
Right, which is happening.
It's happening, but they're being
which
added.
is happening. So I don't know. I mean, I think if you take away enough exhibition games and get to the games that count, I think it matters. I don't know. See, this scares me a little bit because I do like seeing the rivalry games. Like, I think those are fun. So I don't know. I don't know where I stand on this. I don't know where I stand on this, guys. I'm not sure.
You can have your own. Do you have I know you're not a Grinch human being.
Well, in my moments, I got a Grinch though. I do have a Grinch.
Yeah,
for this. All right. If I'm a Grinch, I'm taking away the Winter Classic and Heritage Classics for the next 5 years. No more for the next 5 years.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Get them done. 5 years done. We've had enough. They're every single year. We like. Why are we doing them in Florida? Like what? Like why? Any of the stadium series, any of that, just no more outdoor games for 5 years. Make it fun again. Make it unique again. Make it a cool thing again. 5 years, no outdoor games.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. It's too much. I think it would mean more. It's kind of along the lines of my grinchiness too, but I kind of have two. One's really grinchy that I knew would never fly. It involves players' sticks. They should all be standardized, like with kick points and
what?
Everything. So, yeah.
Oh, you are a freaking goalie Grinch.
That's the goalie.
That's like the most goalie Grinch I've ever heard in my life.
So they're all standardized: the kick point, the length, the width,
the length,
everything, depending on
the length. People with different heights.
There's a formula
Joaquin?
for it. I haven't come up with it yet, but according to your height, that's the length.
It's a
there's a minimum.
This is
maximum you can
garbage.
have in
Wow,
there.
jeez.
No, you are a freaking Grinch.
Look at tennis. Look at tennis. They're standardized rackets. Baseball. The bat.
That's completely different. Completely different.
Same thing. Exactly the same.
No, it's completely different.
Look at field hockey. Same stick.
What about golf clubs?
Maybe I go.
You do that to golf clubs too?
Oh yes, I am going golf club.
Yeah, and every course is exactly the same too, Cass.
Every course is exactly the same. Yeah, no, give me a break.
See, I knew.
Spoken like a true goalie. I got a new Grinch. I got a new Grinch. I got a new Grinch one now.
So I said it might be. I might be. My other one
great.
is Grinchy, but it's more just for because I've always wanted to see this. I think along with the once every 4 years, I think it should go. The playoff format goes 1/16. So every 4 years, it doesn't go from conferences to conferences. It's set up 1 through 16. So you could essentially possibly have an Edmonton Calgary Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, but just every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
That's great. Well, why not?
I don't mind that though. That mixes it up every 4 years. That's okay. Do it like during the Olympic year. Every Olympic year.
Yeah.
That's when you do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
But I can't get over your Grinch move when they're taking away the ability to have a custom stick. So I got a new Grinch move now because of that. Because of your Grinch move. Here's my Grinch move. So my Grinch move is for the goalies. For the goalies, we have to give them only player shin pads. And you don't get to choose what brand your pads are or your skates. It's like completely standard, even more standardized for the goalies. Like you do not get, actually, here's what, I'm taking away goalies' ability to pick their own equipment themselves. I'm going to give that actually to each captain on each team.
The other team's captain.
Yeah. Starting with the team that finished last, moving up to the team that finished first. You get to go to pick the goalies on one of the other teams and you get to dictate their equipment. So you get to pick which brand, what size they have to wear. No standardized at all. I mean, you could have a 6'5" goalie and they have the smallest the goalie pads possible. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I just want to do something to hurt the goalies. Well, I'm just upset. I'm angry.
I'm tired of seeing some guy 165 pounds launching a wrist shot going 90 miles an hour. That's just not fair.
That's fun. It's not a matter of not being fair. You don't. Gager, you were goalie in the age where goalies were tying elastics from their elbow to their hip.
Yes. Not that. And now some guy with the Easton guy with the stick technology, he was fine with baseball bats. Then he comes over to hockey. And I remember my first time going into guys using synergy sticks all of a sudden. And Sean Horkoff all of a sudden becomes a guy chucking muffins from the top of the circle, then going bar down from the blue line.
Right.
I'm like, what's going on here?
Go. Maybe Cass will stick around and start your show with you and Hernan so he can convince. I got to end this show. Two guys and a goalie for GS Construction. Of course, we've been in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. Cass, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Cass.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Have a great time. Gager, I'll still wish you a Merry Christmas. Gager's coming up with Hernan from 1 to 3. I got my show, Justin Lawrence, guest co-hosting with me today from 3 to 6. Thanks for watching Two Guys and a Goalie.